Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. And today I'm talking about Shostakovich's Leningrad Symphony, Symphony number 7. Now, the Leningrad is kind of a controversial work because it's Shostakovich's longest. It's one of anybody's longest. And it has this really long first movement. And in the really long first movement, you have this development section in which this trite little tune gets repeated over and over and over again, getting bigger and bigger and more menacing and more vulgar until it explodes in a huge conflagration. And, you know, what's happening in it is really pretty clear. I mean, you know, during World War II, when this came out, that theme was supposed to represent the German advance, on Russia, and which is roundly defeated by the Russians. I mean, that isn't borne out by anything that happens in this music. There isn't anything especially German about the tune. Some people say it sounds a little bit like, one of the themes from The Merry Widow, and so it does. But that doesn't, stand for Germanitude, in my view. It's a purely musical argument about, I think, the destructive power of trashy music. It really is. It's a musical argument about music more than anything else. There may have been a programmatic undertone. I mean, everybody says there is for everything Shostakovich wrote. So, who the heck knows? But you don't have to know anything about that to enjoy the Leningrad Symphony, but you do need a modicum of patience. For my money, the biggest problem isn't necessarily the first movement. Although, it's not the middle section that gets you. It's what happens afterward, the recapitulation, which really goes on a bit. It's the slow movement, which is very, very beautiful, but it's just as repetitious. It consists of a chorale, a sequence of chords of a quasi, hymn-like nature, and then a beautiful tune, and this repeats. And again, it's just a question of how big the piece is, not because of, development or progress in the musical argument, but because of just sheer repetition. And whether you have a stomach for it will really depend on how you feel about the quality of the material. I think the quality of material of this adagio is very, very high. It's beautiful and arresting music, but it does go on. And so I like performances that are kind to us listeners and move it. Just move it along so that we can get through it. Then the finale is it runs straight in from the adagio without a pause. And that works itself up to get rather exciting. And it too has like a big, furious, opening, and it's very arresting. And then there's a sort of lengthy central interlude, which settles down, and then this huge slow coda builds up in which the first theme from the very opening of the symphony comes back, and the brass, and it's written for just an enormous orchestra with a double brass section, a complete double brass section. That's 8 horns and 6 trumpets and 6 trombones and 2 tubas broken into two pieces. And you've got 3 sets of cymbals and extra snare drums. And you could just, you can make it as loud as you want. And, I don't have any hesitation in saying that the greatest performance of it, single performance, was Leonard Bernstein's on Deutsche Grammophon. It is the most pulverizingly powerful performance you'll ever hear with the Chicago Symphony on Deutsche Grammophon. But it's not my favorite. It isn't. Much as I love it and respect it, for me, I don't know. There are some performances, and maybe some of you will second me on this. There are some performances that you save for special occasions, and that was one of them. It is truly an event for me, and I do listen to it. I enjoy it enormously when I listen to it, but I have to be in the mood for it because Bernstein takes his time and he builds it inexorably, and it's crushing and it's extraordinary, but I really need to be ready. And there are times when I just want to listen to the music and enjoy it and not have every single, drop of juggernaut, extraordinary power and existential angst wrung from the work. I mean, that's fair. There are times we're in the mood and times when we're just not. And so my favorite is the one that I like when I want to hear a more streamlined, but no less powerful, and certainly no less intense version of the piece, but one that just gets on with it a little better. And that one is this one. Järvi's with the Scottish National Orchestra on Chandos. The tempi are swift, and the excitement is paramount, and the orchestra plays marvelously, and the sonics are fantastic, and the end is just cosmically loud. I mean, it's better recorded than the Bernstein, actually, and that's a big deal for me. The sonics are better, and because the sonics are better, I think the music is easier to digest, in its size and its amplitude. Bernstein's is very good, but it's a live performance, and like most live performances, it's actually pretty accurate to what I saw, when I saw it live, which is that the orchestra is so loud that some things just get drowned out. Here, it's everything's in a little better proportion now and again, and it's just really, really fun to listen to. And I'm sorry, I don't always want to be devastated. I really don't. I like music for all moods, and one of the main reasons to buy multiple performances of anything is that you get different versions, if they're sufficiently distinctive, to suit whatever mood you happen to be in. And so this is my Shostakovich Leningrad Symphony, when I just want to hear the Shostakovich Leningrad Symphony and enjoy a sonic experience. Bernstein's is one I will listen to when I want to plumb the depths of the, cosmic inner meaning of the work, assuming it has any. I don't know. It does in that interpretation. So yeah, you might say that this one is a little less deep. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I know what that means in this case, but it's just as exciting. It's even more exciting, and it's just a joy to listen to, and it's my favorite one. Period. That's it. No more excuses. I like it because I like it, and there you go. So keep on listening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care.